So it is currently November 17th and it's 11:11, right? You'll see it. And I am in Ireland, and something told me to just start looking up bodybuilding because, like, my whole life, people have told me I could be a bodybuilder, right? And it just so happened that I got around some people who did bodybuilding, and they've told me I could be a bodybuilder too. And I found out about this competition, and oddly enough, y'all see that, right? Where is one of the dates? If in case you can't see it properly, I don't know. One of the dates, well, no, that's not the correct thing. Either way, what I was just looking at on this phone is that one of the dates is going to be in Ireland. And isn't that just serendipity, right? So I had been avoiding being a bodybuilder for so long because, I mean, obviously, if you see my physique, you know I'm a strong woman. I have, like, great build. I'm beautiful. But for the most part, my entire life, I've always had people trying to down me and how I look and try to tell me that I look like a man, that I'm too strong, and it's really just comes naturally. But then also, just as I've grown and matured, I've started to realize that those were ways of people trying to dim my light and take away my shine, because next thing you know, they're asking me for workout tips, or they're trying to say how beautiful my body is. And you know, like, it just, people are very sinister with how they go about life and trying to make others feel poorly about themselves. And if you're not careful and if you're not smart enough, you will let them convince you of the lies that they tell not only themselves, but the lies that they tell to others and the lies that they tell to you. So I'm saying all that to say, my entire life, I've been strong, you know, and I was always like skinny with a low muscle, but especially since I started to pole dance, I became stronger, and now I have a physique to where it's really muscled up. So I think it's just so funny that my entire life people have told me about my physique. And even back years ago, I remember I used to do like so many photo shoots, and at random, just the way that I pose, people would ask, did you used to be a bodybuilder? Were you a bodybuilder? You know, it's just so funny. And I run into people who bodybuild, and they say, you could be a bodybuilder. You're a natural. You just would need to be trained to pose and different things like that, right? So saying all this to say that maybe someone came across my TL. That's what it was. Something came across my TL, one of the people that I know that has tried to encourage me to bodybuild. And I just started to look on her page, and I started to look at people she followed and stuff like that. And oddly enough, through my going down the rabbit hole, I found out that the next bodybuilding competition will be held November 6th, 2026. So I'm making up my mind today. And I don't want to get emotional talking about this, but a big thing within my content, within me talking to people, is always overcome your self-limiting beliefs and overcome these beliefs that others have cast upon you. Because when I look in the mirror, I don't think I'm unattractive. When I look in the mirror, I don't think there's a problem with how I look. I love how I look, actually. I'm really attracted to and turned on by how I look. It's just when I walk into a room, and the older I get, the more that I pay attention, I see that others are just casting their feelings about me and how I make them feel when I walk into a room onto me to try to confuse me and try to dim my light. And I know I have so many different interests. I know I have so many different things that I try and journeys that I go on. But that is a part of my life journey. And saying all this to say that for so long, I have both been happy with what I do and how I look, and also been afraid of going to the next level because of people consistently projecting onto me that I will look manly or that I'm too strong and stuff like that. And shout out to Cranon. I follow Cranon, and part of Cranon's message is you can still be beautiful and feminine with muscles. And I still feel beautiful and feminine with muscles. So I feel like it's serendipity for me to have crossed paths with so many different people within the fitness industry that are bodybuilders that have tried to encourage me. And now I am in Ireland. And when I looked up the thing, if I could find the proper thing on my phone, it would say that one of the dates will be in Ireland, which I just think is just so funny, just the way my life works, right? And so I think I have to search 2026, and I'll show y'all. So saying all that to say that I've never really liked to let, okay, here we go. So the Ireland event in May. So that's what I just said. It's just so funny. Maybe it's also the fact that I'm in Ireland, why that's coming up. But so many things that I've accomplished in my life, so many things that I've done that have made me happy have been despite what other people were telling me, or despite the negative projections other people were trying to put onto me. And from that, I have found my own happiness, but it hasn't been void of heartache. Because when you're doing things that make you happy, a lot of time it pisses other people off really bad. You know? But I think I've finally decided that I'm going to be, and I've made a YouTube video about this. In the same video, I talked about wanting to finally go on my singing journey. I told people that I wanted to pursue being an athlete too. And maybe I'm inspired by Kim Kardashian publicly pursuing the bar and failing multiple occasions, but I respect her so much for it. Because at one point in my life, I did want to be a lawyer too. So, you know, it's kind of living vicariously through her. But I just refuse to allow other people's projections of me to be my reality anymore. And when you let people's projections of you become your reality, you will forever be unhappy. And I don't care about the little things that happen in life. Like, you could lose a friend here or there. You can grieve. You can mourn a loved one, which I've experienced both occasions. You can go up and down in life, having money, losing money, having a lavish life, living a life of poverty. You cannot have your best days, and today I feel amazing and think I'm gorgeous, and the next day I don't feel so pretty. You can have all of that. And that's life. But I refuse to live a life of boxing myself in and being unhappy and never trying, because it would make other people feel comfortable if I never tried. So I'm going to try bodybuilding. And this is part of me not allowing, y'all, I feel myself tearing up. Y'all know I'm emotional. This is part of me not allowing limiting self-beliefs to stop me from where I need to go. Because God gives you the end vision, but he doesn't give you how you get there. And through a lot of things that I do, I just want people to be inspired to try. And I don't know my end goal. I have things I would like to do and like to accomplish. But I feel damn good in the journey of trying and failing and picking myself back up and dusting myself on and keep going. And I'm still not fully where I want to go because I know God has so much in store for me. But no matter what, I'm going to try. And I think that's a great thing to do. And I think no matter what, you should always try. And the love that I have for myself pours into the love that I do with me talking and going through these journeys publicly and failing miserably, and people talking about me and making jokes about me and becoming isolated, because God wants me to try. And God wants me to show people that it's okay to try. So, this is me announcing as well. I have not given up on singing, y'all. I'm just a ADHD baddie that loves to bounce around and still gets shit done, mind you. Check the resume. I have found what sport I will pursue. And I'm going to pursue bodybuilding. And I'm going to try to do the competition next year. I've decided November to November, I will be training and trying to figure out what I need to do. Because I believe too that God gives you signs, and the signs have been around me for years. Years, back to when I was damn near, my whole life. But I used to do photo shoots when I was 19, and people would be like, do you bodybuild? And that was 19. Mind you, I'm 25 now. So I think it's time for me to stop ignoring the signs that God has kept dropping and just see how far I could go in it. I might not get to the top. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But I'm going to try. And through all of that, through that difficulty in trying and failing, is where you find the love for yourself. So never be afraid to try.